My, Virgo. What have we got going on? The energies around you. We're certainly going to take a peek. But for now, friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, be sure to give us a big thumbs up, like, and share. Also, to all those who've given donations into the channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, Virgo, is quite a spiel going on. I don't even know what all it is yet, but it does have to do with love, money, trust, da 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 da. And they're going do 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 because there is a chunk. A chunk. I don't do chunks usually, but they're like, just stick that over to the side in case we need to talk about it. And I'm like, all right, let's see. So, crowning. We're just gonna jump right on in. They want you to imagine. Take a look here. You see that? They're saying, look deeply into my eyes. Look closely into my eyes. The moon, the stars, the sky is saying, dream, dream. Reach out. For the peace you desire. I see it. The peace, the love, the kiss, the dove. Ring that bell, baby. Who was that song by? You can ring my bell, ring my bell. So not just imagine, that's an invitation. Invite life in here, which it's obvious you're doing because you're asking for the energies, but you're asking for this energy to move about, to take more of a peek. And that's kind of protective of yourself, from yourself, life is saying. And this is life inviting you to look in. This is life saying, if you don't know me by now, you will never, ever, ever know me. So trust me is what life is saying. Not trust me, don't trust joy. You know, you have your guide and your spirits, and you have your own personal experience of what you're going through and how all that works together for you. This is just information and insight and perspective provided to you guys. But what they're saying is life. If you don't know life by now, and they're saying you do, and you've been taking this time to retrospect, to look back, to get in tune and in touch with yourself again. And we have these like kind of like stereo speakers here coming in alongside it right here. Okay, so let's look at this one first. We've got 41, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. Uriel has some secrets to share. It's like an old diary. It's a scope, a map, a dialogue. It's been a minute, and there are a few pages you tore out. Pages of shame, pages of disappointment, pages of, you're saying, hand on the hip, things not working out like they should have, that type of a thing. But Uriel is not moved by this. Uriel has still kept the eye on the prize, ever forward and upward, onward and upward, looking ahead, knowing that there were brighter days coming in. It's like a nebula, like the stirring energies, the gases going on. They're drawing together to create this new life force for you, from you. The return of your energy from self to self. Reconnecting you to yourself is what Uriel's wanting to do here. But there's that diary deep down in this sacral chakra. So there's some secrets and some treasures here of wishful thinking. And that's why you're kind of like that about it, but they're like, step off, step back. If I'm bringing it to you, these are things that we're wanting you to imagine, to awaken, to bring in. We're ready to inseminate this egg. We're ready to shine on and rain on these dreams, okay? And we're going to find out what those dreams are. So underneath Uriel, we have the man holding a coin coming in. So they're saying, how can it come in if you don't recognize it as an opportunity? So they're talking about this energy, this person, whether it's a man or not, right? Male, female, whatever's going on here. You're not recognizing it as an opportunity. You're saying opportunity, yeah, but an opportunity for me to fall for it again, to fail again, to have this issue, to like the shadow. The shadow is there as just a part of life, but you're almost sucking it up, drawing it up in the way to displace the person, the opportunity. And the shadow isn't bad. It's part of life. It's where the sun, you know, it can't reach behind us. So taking a new start. Okay, they're saying give that old mindset a rest, would you? And not the person here. Life is talking about this. Give that mindset a rest, okay? There's evergreen, and they're talking about your heart chakra, love, bonsai, training, resilience. Through time, you should know better, all right? Know better than to make mountains out of molehills, like pulling the shadow forth, trying to spook yourself, scare yourself. It's like, you know, in broad daylight, we don't get spooked as much, right? In movies, it's usually dark and in the graveyard. It makes the hairs on your neck stand up. And you don't tend to get scared going down a long hallway in the middle of the day. But if you go down it in the middle of the night, you could get the hairs to stand up on the back of your neck. And apparently, you're going to keep talking about the hairs standing up on the back of your neck, a hair-raising experience of what you've been through. It was a heightened experience. You said something I never want to go through again. But keeping that in the forefront of your mind is like it's still happening, like it's still going on. It's pulling that shadow and what would that be called? Placing it as a filter over an image to dull it, to dim it, and to not see the opportunity for what it really is. It diminishes the shine and the sparkle, not of what's really there, but of your perception. And therefore, you're not reaching out to life where life is reaching out to you. Okay, so they're talking about let that old thing pass away, leave it off in the west when the sun sets, and wake up to a bright new sunny day. Right beside the man holding the coin, we have 38, fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. And I'm seeing the heart this time like a firefly right there, shining bright and beginning to ignite and light up, saying, okay, here I am, but you immediately shut your eyes. That's interesting. It's kind of like if you don't want to see something there, you were covering it eyes open, and you're like, well, I'll just shut the lens on it this way. And now you're like, well, if that's got to be open, then I'm going to shut the lens on it this way. And they're like, okay, wait, let's hold hands for a minute. Let's walk through this. Let's talk it through, and let's get you to the other side, which really isn't an over there. It's a right here, to the other side of this mindset, to the other side of this reflex that was formed through that heightened experience that you would never want to go through again. Yeah. It's an eye. It's a vision. And first, before I even pick it up, you're like, it's a game piece. And it's like, no, it's not. It's heavenly. There's a nebula reiterated in this, showing up in the clouds. And there's that same focus, that same vision. So this person coming in, this energy, this opportunity, is someone who shares the same vision. All right, and they're asking you to see it with your heart. But that's why they had to get this lens. It was like the eyes of your heart were shutting, and that shuts down your response as well. And you were withdrawing from opportunities. I would say it was out of fear, but it was out of that predictive thinking. Okay. Now, underneath it, this is where the whole story began. Freshening my decks, getting them ready, getting them cleaned out from the last reading. And I was seeing this card show up in the splits when I was shuffling, right? Not knowing if I was going to use it or not. And it jumped, it flew, and it went way out of the way that said, you're going to have to come get me, because you're not putting me back in there, is what it was telling me. And it is the Nine of Swords. Look at this. Now, in this deck is a whole different meaning to me. It's moving past the hardship. This is like a victory card, a pinnacle card, but it has a lot to do with changing your mindset, how you're viewing things, believing in better days, and wanting to come into the shore that it was worth it. It was worth it all along. Don't let this hold you off. Don't hold back. Step in, because that was only one perspective. There's a whole new perspective here, and it's full of life. Your spirit is going to soar. The sun, life, all his favor is going to shine down on you in this opportunity that's coming in. Okay, because that man holding a coin is an offer and is an opportunity. All right, that could be with a person, a place, a thing, whatever it is, and how that is rolling for you. Okay, only you know. But along with that, we're now going to have to wait over here for a minute, because it starts to run this way. So I'm going to follow the energy of the cards, because next came the Ace of Wands. And you're like, no, 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 no. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Because as you begin to feel it, and you recognize this surgence of energy that is kind of overtaking and overpowering. It's not of that person. It's of your yes inside, like, bringing you forward. You're like, whoa, wait, and you revert back. Can you see that energy there? That clouding of the vision of, and the wings are out, not because you're taking flight. It's like trying to come to a screeching halt, trying to protect yourself, trying to shut down with all that is in you. And I can tell you, even with all that is in you, you won't be able to shut this down, because that thing that is rising up from within you is you. It is your true star. And for many of you, you were born for this. It is your IC, okay? That is directly opposite of your MC. It is at the opening of the 4th house, and whatever sign that is in. That is you're saying your save your secrets, your high secrets, your soul secrets is what you're saying. It's things that didn't even require dialogue for you to see or know or say to and with yourself. It's not necessarily things that have been lived out. It's been an undertone going on underneath, like God speak is what you're saying. Thank you. As you were going through things, even if you had to live life out in a certain way, there was this comfort and this knowingness inside in regards to this. That is steady. You see it here? That is steady. That is strong. That is fully rooted and committed to who you are. Yes, your heart may be tired. You might be afraid. You're flinching. The reflexes. There was still one good hard kick up in there when your knee got tapped, and you're like, I'm going to use that kick right now. And they're like, well, that was your last one. That was the last knee-jerk reaction you could have. You've used up the gas of that. And now this is taking over and stepping in, all right, on your behalf. And the only reason that part of your own energy can take over and step in is because you are truly and genuinely ready. When you are, it does rise up. So even though it may not feel totally like it right now, it may feel a little, I would say, chaotic. The chaotic is more the response, right? That reflex. Because what was coming was that surgence, okay? That uprising of energy. So, we're going to keep going this way. That brings in the Lovers. You're beginning to let love in. Long-time love, lasting love, pure love, true love. Many facets and forms. And it's like protective and empowering love. It is a love that covers, not a love which would only be, quote, love and human definition, right? Love definition of something that falls or fails or things like that. This is one that covers. And covers is how we stretch and grow to embrace each other through all the phases, all the stages, all the changes, and to truly be there for another. Often if we treat lovers like friends, we would never speak to our friends the way we would a lover, because they could walk away. That's what you're saying here. There's that respect, that covering, because that's the knowing that there is that bond, there is that friendship, there is that mutual respect. Because you can trust this person with your heart. You can see that they see you, and they accept you fully as you are. Okay, this person, this opportunity, this energy is what we'll talk about. All right, and then that brings in one last. You're like, just okay. Since I can't knee jerk again, one more question. Then, like, still trying to spin that last coin of doubt, which is good. Spend it. Get it out. Get it over with. Get it out from you, so that you now are this fresh and new, this clean, clear imagination, bright, sunny, and blue, okay? Okay, friend? And it's the 3 of Wands. Here, this one talks about once bitten, twice shy. And it's still kind of lovesick, still kind of forlorn, still a little bit of like, you're like, okay, I see it, I feel it, I know it, but I don't know. I see it, I feel it, I know it, but probably won't work out for me. It's like a little bit of that jaundice, that jadedness, that well, just sadness about how y'all's two energies could really be complementary because they seem so different. But that's the unique thing about complementary. They sit opposite one another. Okay, so like the IC and the MC, they sit opposite one another, but they hold this balance, they hold this gaze, they hold this commitment, this union of being on the same page, like a mirror to one another. And that begins to open a little gate, a little opening, a crack, a smidge to your trust, okay? And I can see it beginning to awaken here. And you're realizing the serpent that bit you is just a shadow. It's just a haunting. It's just a scar. That's what it's turning into here, okay? So then we're going to weave back up. Now is 45 man holding a heart. You can begin to see it for what it truly is and relax, and in your case, let your hair down. So it's really calling to the color of the leaves and talking about the autumn, the fall, about when it seems like opportunity or times have passed, like it's a little later in life, a little later than you think it should have been. It's not necessarily about your age. It could be your age, but you're like, I should have done this before now. You know, do people my age do this sort of thing? Or, you know, it's too risky at this age. I should have done this long ago. Before I had all these responsibilities and commitments. But no, it's right on time. It's right in the proper season. It's exactly as it should be. The piece is going into the slot and turning the clock is what I'm seeing. And it's all reaching out for you. It's coming to embrace you and to receive you. So it is proper time. Because there's a season and a time for everything under heaven. And this energy is like, I ain't sweating it. I'm not stressed. I'm ready. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm ready for this. Okay. Taking hold, taking hold, taking hold. To have all that abundance and the beauty. In what would seem out of season, but is actually the perfect season for it. For embracing, for receiving, for showing your true colors is the autumn. And that's what we're tickling around the edge, tiptoeing around the edge of that time right now. So it connects with the card number 33, the door to romance. And that begins to awaken the warm feelings. No longer is it just that upsurge of energy and then working it out like this and figuring out how it goes. Here you finally come into this state of letting your guard down so that you can look at it clearly. You're not saying see it clearly. You're like, I can look at it clearly now with a clear head, with a clear mind, and begin to consider. Okay? Begin to consider this. And as you begin to consider, you see it for what it genuinely is. The doors, what's that song? The book of love will open up and let us in. Yeah. When you take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Remember, Raphael, those wings that you thought was a game, right? And this matches completely with that card. You see, we've got the heart and the heart, and here we've got that spirit heart and the spirit heart. So you're telling me you're of the same heart, the same mind, and the same spirit. Wow. That is divine love. And that's the thing about the proper timing and everything else, is there's a season for everything. So now we've gone back to Raphael. Let's check out what he had underneath it. We have the 8 of Cups. So now you feel safe and secure. That's what this one is showing, is you have your own security. And now that you've covered yourself in your strength of being able to see that you were courageous enough to walk through something that was very intimidating, that had lots of shifting shadows and, you know, could mess with your mind and trigger you. And you kept doing it. You kept walking towards it. You kept staying in dialogue with your spirit, being true to your soul, allowing your soul, your body, your mind to each have its place and its expression of truth in your life, to see how it would all look when it came together. And that has been your covering. Okay, that is your honor. It's been bestowed upon you by yourself to yourself. And remember, there's that covering of love that comes in here. Okay? So it lets me know that you're not going to wear yourself out, is what you're telling me. That you're not going to rely so heavily on this, because you said that was a common practice with you before, is to rely heavily on outward experience, external response. But you're like, moving through this energy has provoked you so beyond yourself of that soul growth, that spirit growth, that regeneration, that healing, that now you see why it all went this way, and why your soul was provoking it and calling it forward, why your IC was rising up here. Remember, because it knew you really were ready, that everything was aligned, and it was the right time, right place. And not that there's right or wrong, it's more conditional, meaning the proper conditions all aligned so that it could be fruitful, that it's beneficial. Okay? Think of it like the workings of a clock, one of those grand master clocks, and all the planets and all the stars, they're all working and moving together and forming this perfect alignment that it says now. I said you were born for this baby. So anyways, next to it we have the Page of Swords, and the enjoyment and the pleasure that you get now, that you have, now that you maintain, now that you cover yourself, you've discovered yourself, you're in tune, humming and in harmony with yourself, that it begins to heal the hole that you had in your heart, that empty place, that place that you thought was going to be a gaping wound forever, is what you're talking about here. And your power begins to rise up. I love it. In a natural form, in a natural way, that you are comfortable with who you are and how you're made, that you realize that there wasn't something flawed about you. It was, discovering the language of all your parts working together. It's kind of like we're not just one zodiac sign, we're all of them working together into that central point, that hub, that eye of God, is the how do we see ourselves? And how do we work with that energy to bring forth our best, our ease, our life, our love? And you said the last thing you have was this question. Okay, so after all that, this was left there as the background question. The Empress came in inverted. Now my decks are not inverted, but inversions are allowed to come out and speak if that's how it happens. They're more than welcome to express themselves that way. I do that for the sake of keeping the decks clean and pure for each reading, so that you're not having to piggyback off of another sign's energy. If they had chaos going on and you don't, we're not inviting it in. Does that make sense? So here when it comes in, it doesn't mean chaos. It just means a question was being posed in this case. Is you're like, so how do I get this bounty, this harvest? How do I get it before the last petal falls on that rose? And they're saying, I got you back, baby. They said it's already here with you. It's in you. It is you. And you just didn't know it. And they needed your permission and your abiding grace to continue to walk in it. They needed your face to behold you, so that you could see with your own two eyes and experience with this very life you've been given what they've been saying all along. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense because of this past experience that was going on here. You shifted to where you've now decided, the Two of Fire, you made your decision to converge, to come along, and to come along quickly. Okay, Brother Wynn. So a lot of you have started jumping on the bus already from the last reading or two that's been going on for Virgo. And you're like, okay, let's see how this is. Let's face it, because like in this card, when you look, it looks like death. Can you see it like a Grim Reaper coming in? You're like, okay, we're just going to jump in. We're going to do this thing and get it over with. And this is a devout energy coming in saying, I'm coming in to protect you. I'm coming in to be your guardian at the gate, to hold off the offenders, to defend you so that you can slip past the gate and get on through safely, okay? And it brought in this hermit energy. And in Tarot, the Spirit, this hermit energy, it says, I knew it all along. I knew it all along. I'm not afraid of my own shadow. I'm not afraid of my expansion and contraction. I understood life all along and didn't even know it. And I said, no, that's right. Because it wasn't time yet. It wasn't time. Because it's time. We're here. You now know, and that's what's important. They're like bringing you back in, and they're like, now, that's the convergence, this time, getting in this bit of space to where you do know that you know, and that's how it becomes complete. And that begins to, where to go from there? So that begins to stir up some feelings for you, and love begins to rise up, and this time it's a cooler, calmer energy, and it feels refreshing, it feels powerful, and on the edge of scary, but it doesn't tip over that edge now, because you feel secure that you have a choice in this, and that it's not just something that's happening to you. You're walking through this together with life, with the decision point, and they're helping you see it so that you can go together. And that brings in this balance and this beauty. This, it's kind of like a vault and a gateway and a balance and an eye, all at the same time. It's very centralizing is what they're telling me, this beauty here. And they're saying, sorry y'all, I got a hair tickling me like crazy. They're like, all eyes on you. And these eyes that they're talking about are showing me from the different realms and regions of your body. Kind of like the points on your chart. They're all coming together, and they're saying, like an orchestra, and you're the conductor, and they're saying, okay, lead us, show us, tell us what to do. I like that. So as that happens, that begins to open you up. You birth yourself out. You're confident. I mean, look at this. You see that? You're coming in off this Leo energy, this very heart energy, this strong, bold confidence, and it's shrouding you in light, and it's keeping the scariness of the darkness away. Not that the dark is scary, but what you have been through. Remember that old shadow? And that's, sorry, I'm sticking to my stuff. That's where he's like, yeah, I told you I'd keep that away from you so that you could be calm, cool, and collected and comfortable. And now the rubber's hitting the road, and you're able to do it yourself. And it's not rude. That's part of growing up. Do it self. I do it. I can do this. I can hold my peace. I can maintain my peace. And it feels very good. You're like that central point of the pearl. Radiant and beautiful. And what's wild is that, sorry, my chameleon is scratching around over there. What you doing, girlfriend? Okay, her name's Peanut. That causes a moment of chaos, okay? 10 of fire, the cage. But you see how it's blowing the roof off of it? See how it's doing away with the old structure, the old ways, the old systems, that type of thing. And it's great because it was the mother of fire, right? Do you see the rays shooting out of the top of your head? It's like you called it in. When you chose to stand in peace, this is like the bomb.com that goes, poof, that blows all this shadow of doubt away, so that you become stable and the light of day can come in and begin to shine again. That good feeling, bring back that good feeling, that loving feeling. And it's obvious here because the 3 of water, the stream of love flowing. That's you knowing that it doesn't shift and change. It's steady, it's constant, it's tried, it's true, and you're strong, you're confident, you are rooted in that energy, that ability to love and to be loved, and to feel strengthened in it. Then that opens up the channel, the 1 of water, which to me, the aces, the ones, are the most pivotal of them all. They're kind of like we think the 10 is the top, the biggie, the whatever. When they speak with me, they're like, no, it's the ace. I mean, that's the highest deck when you're using playing cards, right? The highest card in the deck. And it's the ultimate peace, the Prince of Peace, the divine peace, the peace of mind that affords you everything you could ever desire and ever dream. This is your eye open. Look at that. They're showing me, they said this is what it looks like. This is what we had hoped for all along. Never fading. Ever loving. Wow. I like that, Virgo. Talk about some earthy sauciness. It wasn't spicy up like that, but it was thick with sauce. That was a lot going on. I love that. So we're going to turn your Empress up right now because that question has been answered. Is yes. You're saying yes to life. Yes, I can imagine this. Yes, I am open. Yeah, baby. All right, Virgo. That's interesting stuff there. I'm excited for you. Excited for us. Talk to you soon. Bye.